Greetings, RC Model Geeks, and here we are in the shed for part 5 of the DW Hobby Storch build. Well, it was a mammoth session yesterday. We got quite a lot of stuff done. Didn't really show a lot of the fuselage or really comment about it, so let's have a bit of a closer look, shall we? We've got longerons down here. They're carbon fibre. You can see those two black square carbon fibre rods there. And underneath we've got 4. So we've got one there, and those 2 down the middle. It's going to be quite a strong plane, but it's not very big. You know, if you look at the length of the wings compared to the fuse, it's actually quite a small small fuselage. You know, this isn't a big plane at all, really. So I'm going to carry on putting bits on this, and you never know, by the end of the day we might have a completed fuselage. Obviously we've got to do the motor install, drill all the holes to mount the electric motor. Now if you're wanting to convert this to glow, they do actually supply a firewall, which is here, for glow. And if you look, it says GP on them, and that you would stick on the front and mount your glow motor to it. They do allude to that in the instructions here. There it is, if you want to mount a glow. And I quote, "The model is designed for an electric motor. If you need to install the oil engine, we provide you with 2 oil engine firewalls. The installation needs certain modification even, and reinforcement. You need to modify it yourself." I remember back in the day when glow was the standard, and if you wanted to convert it to electric, you were on your own. But the tables have now turned, and electric is the standard, and glow is the poor cousin. Right, I'm going to get on, put some more bits on this fuselage, see how far we get. Okay, I have built the motor box, which is that. Now that slides into the front of the plane, just like that. And basically you just adjust the length of that box so that your motor that's going to be on the front here lines up with the right place in the cowling. So this engine mount has been seriously over-engineered by DW Hobby there. You can see that massive ugly bit of aluminium. What? I'm not putting that on. Yeah, it's a strengthener, but no point. I'm just going to glue that engine mount in the right place, you know. No need for that kind of stuff. That's agricultural engineering, that is. Not good at all. So we'll delete that. I had an email from a guy called Gerald this morning. He watches our channel here, and he builds planes, he builds model planes, and he's got a channel himself. I think it's called SC Flyer, But I'll put a link in the description. Go and have a look at some of his videos. They're better than mine. He actually shows sticking bits together. Yeah, go and check him out. I think he's building a cub at the moment. But yeah, link in the description. It's Gerald, and thanks Gerald for supporting the channel. You're a star, mate. Right, what am I going to do next? I don't know. I'll have to surprise you. Back soon. So I'm just working on the back end here. I'll take these bits out. So that's all done now. That's it. So yeah, the final parts are on this back end anyway. You just got to put these little triangle bits in there when the plane won't fall over. That's better. So yeah, you just got to put these little triangle bits in there. Now you see here, they've actually put some lines. Those lines are where you line these parts up to when you stick them in, and that will create a gap for the vertical fin. Like that. And then your vertical fin will just basically slot in there. Now, I've not sanded this down. This is as it come laser cut, right? Now you check the fit. If I move these out of the way, right, that fit is spot bollock. That's how accurate they make these kits. Yeah, there's no gap, no nothing. It fits straight in there. And as you can see, you can just see the black line there. And if I come around that side, you should be able to see it there as well. You know, the accuracy on these kits is amazing, it really is. Right, I'm going to stick those triangle bits in, and then I'll probably sand them to shape. So there is the that final bit shaped on there, with a slot down the middle for the tail. Perfect. Now when you come to fit the horizontal stab, you'll actually cut away this little slot here, and you'll see that they've dotted it there to show where to cut. Brilliant. So, okay, now there's a part, F6. There it is, F6. Two of them, one there, one there. Not shown on the drawing. All the pictures all labelled up. On here it shows F6 as that former. So yeah, bit of a mistake there, but that F6 glues onto this F6. Yeah, so that's where it goes, if you're ever wondering. So we're slowly coming together, very slowly, not rushing it today, taking it easy. Just working out where all the little bits go that I keep finding. Okay, so I've done a bit more to this plane. Got the stringers down the side here, glued in, and this bit of decking over the front there, glued on. Looking quite nice. Right. So then we come. I'm always thinking ahead. It's always good to think ahead with these things and think how things would be done. Now, when you come to cover this, the covering is going to stretch over here, over that stringer, and down to this wood. Here, that's fine. here where you've got this cockpit bulge doesn't work, because the covering has basically got to stick at that point and then come up onto there. So as soon as you stuck that covering down, you shrink it, it's going to pull away. So, and I've had this before on a DW design. They just haven't thought about it. It makes you think, did they actually build one and fly it, you know? Because it's a fundamental cock-up. So you've either got to cover this bit here before you put this cockpit on, or you need to stick a bit of wood, something like this bit here, along there to give the covering something to stick to before you shrink it. And the same around here as well. The covering should basically be coming off here, I would have thought, and out. But yeah, so I might just put a couple of little fillets in certain places that'll allow covering it to work. I don't know yet. I might even just cover this bit. That might be the easiest way, just to keep the original look. But it's coming together. We've got part of the cockpit on there. Here's another bit. I'll drop that on there, so you'll get an idea of how it's going to be. The joint at this point here, you're going to want to taper this bit of wood here so that you get a nice flush joint, of course. Yeah, and what you do is you bend this bit of ply. You can see I've got a bend in it along that dotted line that they've put in there, and that gives you the shape of the cockpit. Yeah, I mean, I might just crack out the covering iron and just cover this bit. I'm really tempted just to cover it and then keep the look, you know. Yeah, we'll see. If I come back in a minute and that bit's covered, you'll know which way I went. Okay, right, well, I'm about done for the day. So it's time now, nearly 7 o'clock on a Saturday. Okay, so what have I done? Yeah, I've added some an extra stringer here, just so it gives something for the covering to actually stick to. I'll pop this off for the moment as well, get that out of the way. I've added like a wedge here, which will give this covering that comes along here something to adhere to, because it's spaced off by this stringer along here. And I've also added a bit around the horizontal stabilizer, because it's another taper again. The covering's coming across like that, and it's, you know, it's lifted off by this stringer, and so you're going to have another hole floating in mid-air around the horizontal stab there. So I just put some wood there, tapered it towards the back, tapered it towards the top, so it will follow where the covering's going. Also, there's a couple of holes in the side of the fuse here and here, and they're for part of the undercarriage attachment. Now they again would be the hole in the covering would be floating in mid-air, which is not good, you know, because it can rip or whatever. So just stuck a little bit of wood on there and shaped it to the right shape, so when the covering sticks to that, it'll all look perfect. And the same up here as well, just to get it to sit right, and you know, your covering's not going to rip or anything. As that's part of the undercarriage, you know, that could get a lot of movement there. and we don't want it to just rip holes in the covering. The other thing, added this block here. It's one of those blocks that's meant to be there, but there's a slight lack of information in the instructions for it. It is in the kit, but there's just like one picture of it, you know, sort of sneaked away. But that is where that second block goes. That block there and that one we added earlier is mountings for the undercarriage. Now, when you're sanding your plane, yeah, it's good to know how the original was made. Like the Storch, for example, would have been a tubular steel airframe. Now, the key thing about tubes is they're round. So, when it comes to finishing your plane, round the edges. Yeah? If you look here, you can see I've put a radius on there. On the full size, that would have been a tube, so it would have been round. Radius your edges. If it's that kind of plane, you know? Same as down here. Radius edge. Tubular fuselage, everything is going to have a radius. Even down here, I've radiused it slightly. Just all adds to how it's going to look when it's finished. And that's what it's about, isn't it? How it's going to look and what it's going to fly like. So that's it. Giving up for the day. Oh, got backache. And I'm hungry. And I'm tired. So, see you on the next video. Don't forget, go and have a look at Gerald's channel. I think it was Gerald. God, it's so late now, I can't remember. But I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, go and subscribe to him. It looks like he's going to be doing some nice build videos. See you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you for watching Captain Rob's RC Model Geeks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click that like button. If you want to see more of the same type of videos, don't forget you can subscribe. If you want to support us, you can use PayPal, paypal.me/RC Model Geeks. If you want to contact us, you can email us rcmodelgeeks@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.